What a spectacular six-hitting festival we've just witnessed at the Chinnaswamy in Bengaluru as India, riding on a fantastic partnership between Mahendra Singh Dhoni and skipper Virat Kohli, have raced away to 190 for 4 after being put into bat first by Australia. First 6 overs are getting only 53. However, Kohli and Dhoni ensuring that India would end up with far more than what the Aussies would have thought. Kohli ending up with an unbeaten 72 of just 38 balls, while KL Rahul also gave a terrific beginning with 47. Berendorf and Darcy Short picking up a wicket apiece, but in the end it was a little bit of a carnage, as we can say. Let me bring in our guests, Hemang Badani right here with me in the studios, as well as Sean Tate, who's joining us from Adelaide. Good evening, gentlemen. Hemang, first things first, are you able to catch a breath now? That was a huge amount of sixes we witnessed.
Absolutely, and to some extent very surprising, because you normally see a Kohli playing a lot along the ground. But I did see a different Kohli today. His innings was a bit in two different halves, two segments. The first was where he was about 18 of about 15 balls, and the next 24 balls we got to see a different Kohli getting about 53 and 91 of the last 6 overs. Carnage, yes, I was a bit surprised in the sense that will we even get to a 150, 99 for 3 at the end of the 14th, but then we saw a different Dhoni and a different Kohli.
Absolutely. Sean Tate, I believe both you and Hemang Badani have been beaten in this race by India, because both Hemang predicted around 170, 175 odd, you said 185. India getting to 190 for 4. That's a formidable score, isn't it?
Oh, it's a great score. Oh yeah, I think they just timed their run really well. Obviously, a great start. KL Rahul playing his shots, getting after it. Then the Australians seemed to be on top there for about 5 overs through the middle. A couple of wickets and keeping the runs down. And then, obviously, wickets in hand were the key, and the likes of Dhoni and Kohli, experienced players, just making sure they got a really good score. So that's going to be tough to beat.
Right, and certainly, most certainly, the standout feature of this innings, as far as India is concerned, is the 100-run partnership in just about 50 balls between Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Virat Kohli, proving perhaps a little too good for the Aussie bowlers on the day. What stood out? We saw Rishabh Pant coming and falling cheaply, and then we had both Dhoni and Kohli at the wicket. One would have expected perhaps India to sort of try and go after the bowlers towards the last couple of overs, but from the 14th over itself, it looked like they really had a plan in place.
In all fairness, I got a feeling at that point in time we were about 99 for 3 at the end of the 14th over, and I would have been happy with the 150, with the 160 itself. But yes, Dhoni and Kohli, we've all seen, and we've all seen in the past that they both loved this venue. They've both really done well at Chinnaswamy Stadium, and I think they had a plan in hand that we will take the game along to the 13th, 14th over, and at that point in time, we will start striking hard. Bear in mind that we still had batsmen to come in. We still had a Krunal Pandya, we still had a Dinesh Karthik, we still had a Vijay Shankar to come in. So that gives you a bit of a cushion that you can actually go hard a little early, keeping in mind the 3 more batsmen to come. And yes, there's one way of saying is that you want to go hard, but you have to execute it. And did they do it well or not? Beautifully batted.
Absolutely, and there's a method to, not the madness, but the crazy 6 hitting. Let's break down India's innings of 190 as we started now. The batting power play got us 53 without loss, over 7 to 15. One would say relatively quiet. India lost 3 wickets for 60, but over 16 to 20, the last 5 overs fetching India 77 for the loss of 1 wicket. More specifically, last 6 overs, 91 on the board, and India raced away to 190. Sean, would you concede the fact that would you agree to the fact that perhaps the Aussies lacked a plan B when Dhoni and Kohli started going for those big shots?
I mean, I don't remember seeing one Yorker being bowled for the whole innings, which to me, if you're the bowling coach of Australia, I'd be saying, look guys, I'm not sure what the plan was, but you're bowling to 2 of the best hitters of all time in cricket, and you haven't bowled one Yorker. So yeah, I'd be certainly in the debrief just assessing that again. And when guys are going like that, you can't just bowl length balls. I just felt Jai Richardson he sort of run in and just put the ball there rather than having confidence and hitting the wicket hard, and even Paddy Cummins at the end there, just slower ball bounces and all this, trying to bowl wide. rather than just a typical Yorker on the stumps or a Yorker on leg stump, to not give the batsman any room.
Absolutely, and the fact that Hemang, the way Dhoni started it was perhaps we were watching this sort of Dhoni batting after a while. It was certainly the vintage Mahendra Singh Dhoni carefree batting, having a lot of fun right there at the middle.
Well, absolutely. We saw him struggle a bit the last game, and in all fairness, the last game when he batted, when he was in, there weren't many Indian batters to actually bat around with.
Yeah.
And when he knew that there was a Virat Kohli then, and he also knew that there was a Kunal Pandya to come in, a Vijay Shankar to come in, a Dinesh Karthik to come in, he played with a lot more freedom. He loves his venue. And I got a feeling that the Australians also didn't bowl the right lengths. It was good to bowl the back of length, hit the deck length at Vizag, but at the Chinnaswamy Stadium to keep bowling the back of length balls to me probably was a wrong ploy. They did try to go with the wide Yorker a couple of times. Didn't go in that direction, didn't go well for them. A couple of them, maybe at least one of them was a harsh call where I thought it wasn't a wide, but I thought they could have stuck to that plan. That is a good plan to Dhoni to go wide, but they kept bowling to his strength, bowling within the stumps, and if you bowl in the stumps to Dhoni, he's not going to miss them.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, Bangalore, or rather Bengaluru on the other hand, has managed to continue its love affair with the name Rahul. No, not Rahul Dravid this time, but it's KL Rahul, and why not? What a fantastic innings from the young man. Rahul getting to 47 of just 23 balls and giving India just the sort of start which one would have wanted from him right there at the top. Hemang, do you think this innings particularly would give him a lot of confidence, especially coming on the back of another good one which he played in the first game?
I think both the innings were very well batted. The first time around he got a 50, this time around he got a 47. I think he's striking the ball well. He's actually hitting the middle of the bar. And for me, the only thing that if I had to be really critical is that once you get to a 50, once you get to a 47, you're seeing the ball well. You're actually in a position to actually take the game forward. You can control the game at that point in time. Maybe he can be a little more circumspect, take a little more time. Even the ball that he picked to play the uppercut wasn't the right ball. You can't really play an uppercut of a slower ball. I don't mind you playing the uppercut when it's a normal ball, when there's pace on the ball. You need to have pace on the ball to play the uppercut. But there was no pace on the ball. Probably that shot at that point in time, maybe not.
Maybe not, or perhaps he would have gone on to get a bigger one itself. Remember, you can share with us your thoughts and comments, and also leave your questions for our guests Hemang as well as Sean on our Facebook live page. And Ashish Shaw has said that he asks that has Rahul is he certain now for the World Cup? Is he made sure that he's cemented his spot? Do you think he has it in him to be a regular opener for India in T20 internationals?
I've always believed that he has the skills, he has the talent to actually bat for India, and we all tend to forget that he does have a couple of T20 hundreds. Yes, he's had a slump in form, he hasn't batted well in the recent times, but let's not forget about his skill and talent. It was a matter of time that we would see KL Rahul bat the way he normally bats, and he's back in form if you ask me. He's batting well, he's striking it well. And the very reason that they've got him back in the squad is to try him out for the World Cup. To see if India can actually get him back into form and take him as the third opener. He looks good to me right now. We still have a few ODIs to go. Give him a go and then you can decide on that. But at the moment, he is looking at ominous form.
Right. Sean, how convinced are you by KL Rahul's good form? And more specifically, it seemed that when he was batting compared to the others around him, it seemed that KL Rahul was certainly batting on a different pitch.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I think